Well, good Wednesday morning. Good to have each one of you here and hope you are doing well. Hopefully, we're getting some rain today. We'll see how it all plays out. Looking like it's going to, although this forecast has changed a lot, tells me they probably don't have a clue what's going on. But anyway, we'll see. And so hopefully over the next, actually today and tomorrow, Lord willing, should be able to get a pretty good bit. So we shall see, but looking forward to hopefully how it all works out. Hope you can join us tonight. We'll continue our study, the book of Psalms, and looking forward to that time as well. And a good opportunity for us. Encourage you to be a part of things. I think that does us well to get together as a group. And I know there are benefits of aspects of different elements of the service and all that, but I think there's nothing that beats getting together as a group. And I want to see our church continue to thrive in that way and just do well and be together and put that kind of a priority with each other. So continue to pray for one another. Always lots of challenges, and Lord knows all those needs as well. Let's get into our study here in Second John, and kind of a neat little book, shortest book actually, I believe, in the New Testament. It's only got about 200, it's under 250 words in the Greek New Testament, so that's not a whole lot. And it's actually a lot of their writing back then, they would write on a piece of dried papyrus plant as part of that they would use, and this could easily just be written on one of those. They'd roll it up as a scroll, but it wouldn't take much to write Second John. Some have actually called Second John a postcard, and there's maybe a lot of truth to that. John is going to deal with, though, in this short little book, a lot of very important themes, and it's a book that I'd say, largely due to its lack of size, I think it's probably one that is largely overlooked. Second and Third John, both extremely small. And I think that for the most part, a lot of Christians probably read through it real quick. But honestly, if you were to ask them, hey, what's Second John talk about? There'd probably be a lot of questions. That's a good question. What does Second John talk about? And so I think we can be challenged by this. And so let's not let its brevity take away from its importance. Sometimes you can say a lot in a little bit. And I think that's exactly what John is going to do here in this letter. As we go through this particular letter, there's going to be some themes that are going to keep coming around, circulating around. And one of those that we see even in these first couple of verses, the love and truth. These are two things that are quite foundational to his letter. And a commandment is going to be another one that's going to be used a lot. Walk is going to be one that's used a lot. And so there's a lot that's here. And in essence, what John is urging these believers to do is to walk in the truth, uh, live a life that reflects obedience to the commandments of God, have a love for one another, and don't be deceived. And allow the false teachers, they're going to come around, but don't be deceived by them. Don't be deceived by, he'll actually use the word antichrist in his letter. And so it's a great book for us. And I think it's good for us to look at these smaller books and be like, okay, you know what? What do I learn out of these things? Well, let's begin by noting verse number 1. He says, the elder unto the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also all they that have known the truth, for the truth's sake, which dwelleth in us and shall be with us forever. And then he wishes the usual greeting and so forth on there. But I want to focus here a little bit on just this initial 2 verses. He's writing as the elder, so this is John, and now he is older in his Christian life, and more than likely nearing the end of his life. This unique statement, writing to the elect lady, the chosen lady. Different interpretations have been suggested by this, but I think it's best understood as a reference to the local church and her children, those members that are within there. Why does John use this? I think that it's probably in part to remind us of the reality that as believers in a church, we are the bride of Christ. And I think that it brings all of that into a forefront, but it also is going to bring in this element as he develops this, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also they that have known the truth. There's this balance between love and truth. And this is, I think, an important balance, and we'll see this throughout this letter. Uh, Biblical love cannot be separated from truth. I think so many times we put all of an emphasis on love, and we do so to the exclusion of truth. And, you've heard me say on this, if you've watched for any length of time, that one of the things we as independent fundamental Baptists do not do well at is loving one another. And I truly would stand by that statement. And if I make someone angry by my statement, then I'm just proving my point. But that is not to say, and I often preface it with this, not always, but often preface it with, that does not mean that we compromise the truth. And so in some way, we've got to figure this out, that there is this balance of a love for people that does not in any way compromise the truth. And we are harsh in our opinions, harsh in our disposition, harsh in our demeanor, harsh in our statements, and we just come out and we make sometimes some very broad brush statements that we just lump everybody who has a certain appearance into this particular category, and we want nothing to do with that. Okay, we got to be very careful about this. So I don't want us to in any way compromise the truth of the Word of God. But at the same point in time, we have to learn to be able to love one another, to be able to accept a person where he or she is. And you know what? That doesn't mean that I'm going to condone their lifestyle, but it does mean that I'm going to accept them as a person. I'm going to value them as a person who has been made in God's image and strive to minister to that person in such a way that is going to demonstrate the love of Christ to that person with whom I may disagree. And it's okay. I think that we have to get this figured out. And John brings these 2 themes right off the beginning of the importance of love. And he says, okay, and it's not just me only, but all who have known the truth. This is something, as First John has brought out clearly, that is going to be characteristic of all believers. For the truth's sake, which dwelleth in us and shall be with us forever. The importance of truth cannot be overstated. And so when we look at things, it's like, okay, well, how do I make these decisions, and how do I navigate through things? The Word of God has to be our authority. And if we ever deviate from that and we lose sight of the importance of the Word of God, then the reality is that we are going to make a tremendous mess of things, and there are going to be lots of challenges, unnecessary problems that we will incur just simply because we don't have the right attitude. I think sometimes we come across quite arrogantly. We're the only ones who are right, and we're the only ones that hold the truth. I don't ever want that to be said about Morgan and Baptist Church. Yes, I do want us obviously uphold the truth, but I don't believe that we are the only church in the world that holds the truth. Okay. That would be ludicrous and that would be absurd. And so we need to balance this well. I think that we can get off the rails either way. I remember an analogy my dad would oftentimes give. Which wing of the airplane is more important, the right wing or the left wing? And, the reality is both are equally important. And love and truth are equally important. They're two tensions that are going to hold opposites in some ways, but they're going to keep a proper balance for us. And John brings that out right here in his introduction. It's a great little book. We'll get more into it, Lord willing, tomorrow. And like I said, I hope to see you tonight, and looking forward to our study. It should be a good night, and hopefully you're able to be out here and be a part of that. Continue to be in prayer for one another, and always challenges that are always abounding, and looking forward to the opportunity that we have to be able to share our hearts with one another and be able to pray. And so we'll see what God does. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate your faithfulness on here tonight or today. And Lord willing, I will be able to be back and hopefully see you tomorrow. By the way, the study will be Psalm number 95. I don't think I mentioned that, but anyway, looking forward to it. God bless you guys. Appreciate you. And Lord willing, I'll see you back here in the morning. Take care.